Hi, friends.
I'm Mitch.
I'm Zach.
Oh, this must be one of these multiversal things.
I think so.
America, can you switch us out really quick? I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are an excellent little podcast.
Presenting you a little movie podcast starring Zach.
And Mitch. Am I supposed to say something here?
Well, normally you would ask if we were doing a podcast.
Yeah,
But
I feel like this is still a different universe. We are now living in a post-watched Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Which, God, it's been a while to say that.
Yeah, it's about 24 hours ago. We were getting close to seeing the movie. We were supposed to see it at 5:30, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. We had to delay it just by an hour,
but we saw it.
We saw it, and things happened.
A lot of things happened.
Yeah. But before we get started, we'll go ahead and say who directed and who wrote this. So, our good old friend, Sammy Raimi.
You mean Sam Raimi.
Yeah, Sam Raimi. Sammy Raimi. Yeah, we love our little boy, Sammy Raimi.
The main guy that directed the first two Spider-Man films.
The man who really, to be honest, in my opinion, kicked off the superhero craze. Like, I know a lot of people credit... the first X-Men,
Bryan Singer,
and everyone, with that being the first like real big kicker into it. I felt like that was more so lightning in a bottle. I feel like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy was a genuine thing to put superheroes like into blockbuster Hollywood icon.
Oh, absolutely, and also. Screenplays written by Michael Waldron. I also think that Sam may had some other stuff to do with this script.
Yeah, but I mean...
We'll get to that later.
You can totally tell, like, the DNA of Loki is also kind of in this, especially since Michael wrote a lot of that series. So.
And a brief summary is Dr. Stephen Strange... Thank you. Casts a forbidden spell that opens the doorway to the multiverse, including alternate versions of himself, whose threat to humanity is too great for the combined forces of Strange, Wong, and Wanda Maximoff.
Yep. It's quite a bit of a doozy. And
let's just put it this way. The title says it all.
It truly is. And you could tell Marvel was trying to keep the story of this kind of more so close to the chest. So we apologize in advance for our non-spoiler section because
there's
only so much we can talk about without actually spoiling this movie. So.
But as Zach just pointed out, we split this review up into 3 sections.
As we always do.
Yes. We have a non-spoiler section where we will discuss our initial thoughts, what we thought of the movie.
Mention the cast.
And
at least part of the cast for this one.
Zach.
I know.
Shh. Don't spoil the madness.
We will not spoil the madness here.
And the second portion is our review, whether we ate it up, we needed to feed it to the dog Jazz, or just maybe need to cook a little bit. And then the third section is our spoiler section. And Zach will sound the alarm. That way, if you haven't seen the movie, you can turn off however you're listening to us. Or if you don't give a damn, you can just listen to us anyway. Yeah. And Zach.
Any questions, comments, concerns? No?
I have a question.
Oh, yes. What's your question?
Is it okay if I start?
Yes, absolutely.
And the reason why,
your number 3 on your top 10 most anticipated movie.
So, without giving too much away, I will say this movie delivered. And then some. I also will say this movie is going to divide a lot of fans.
Really? Okay.
I think so. And I'm not going to say why. I just want to say that it's going to divide a lot of fans.
I look forward to hearing more about that in our spoiler section.
Yes. And this wasn't the movie I was anticipating.
Okay.
But it wasn't a bad thing.
Sure. Okay.
It was still very, very enjoyable. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I was involved. I was ready for everything. And just at the end of the movie, I was I wasn't disappointed.
That's fair. It even made you jump at one point. I did see a little jump from you in the
What?
I did.
Bullshit.
I can't even remember what section it was, but I did see a jump out of you.
I think I know what, but it's. I can't say it because it's in my spoiler.
The spoiler section.
It is.
I get to actually hold over that you jumped over a movie that I didn't this time, so I get to do something on that one.
Up your butt, Zach. Okay, so you got my thoughts.
Yep.
Zach.
Yeah. What?
Well, what'd you think?
Oh, okay. Yeah, my thoughts. Wow. I appreciate that you care about my thoughts and my feelings.
Well, sometimes. Well, I think
I'm going to move on before he crushes my thoughts.
Well, let's just put it this way. Another universe version of me cares about your thoughts and feelings.
Well, I like that universe's Mitch more.
But how do you know you're not talking to him right now?
Because you said you didn't care about me, and now I'm starting to get
But
sad.
that may be another universe's version.
Oh. I'm so confused.
This is just madness.
This is really getting into madness.
Okay. So I do need to hear your thoughts.
But my thoughts. Oh gosh. In quite a interesting start to the movies of 2022, this is definitely the first blockbuster I feel of the 2022 season.
And you're not counting the Batman?
We're not counting the Batman. Batman was kind of... Well, yes, it is a blockbuster.
Yeah, it made a lot of money. Yeah.
It definitely made a lot of money. I feel like the Batman is... Especially with how Matt Reeves took the direction it did. It felt more of a crime thriller indie than it did... pump millions and millions in dollars blockbuster kind of thing, where this definitely feels like it.
Okay, I could see that.
There's been a couple of things that people have been calling this as like an event film, like an Avengers movie, and I kind of agree with that. Kind of like how Captain America: Civil War was kind of like an event movie,
kind of Avengers 2.5.
Yeah, it's in the sense where a lot of things that Marvel has been building up to are finally you're starting to see some payoffs with all that, which is really, really nice.
A little bit like with Loki and
with Loki,
if.
with WandaVision, with a lot of things that we have been, seeing and been alluding to. Some of those things start to get paid off, which I was really, really happy to see.
Mm-hmm.
This movie surprised me in ways I didn't expect, and fulfilled things that I wanted to happen that I was also really happy about.
And you can't talk about it?
I can't talk about it yet. But this movie was really, really well done, and Doctor Strange is a very wonderful character, and I've always loved him whenever he pops up in the comics. And it just goes to show why Sam Raimi really, really wanted to do a Doctor Strange film all the way back even when he was doing his Spider-Man days, and he's finally getting to get his character. So it's kind of bittersweet, and you can really see the love for the character while trying to still fit in the MCU, but still being a very Sam Raimi film, but we'll get to that point later.
So we both got our thoughts in.
Yep.
Let's get the cast over with.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we'll start with Bernadette Lumbersnatch.
You mean Benedict Cumberbatch?
Yes.
As Dr. Stephen Strange?
Yes.
And
that name I can say.
And a few other... There's a ding.
There's a ding dong.
A few we see in the trailer, other versions of him.
Yeah, we see a couple of versions of him. We see the Crazy Strange, or the Dark Strange, I'll say, which is the one with the very long beard. Then we see what I'll classify as like Hero Strange, which is
Defender. I think it was
Strange.
Defender
I think
Strange,
it's his official title. And then we have Zombie Strange. So yeah, and then we have our MCU 616 Strange.
Oh yeah, that is a spoiler, Zach.
That is not a spoiler. It is a spoiler, but it isn't a spoiler.
We all knew it was going to be 616.
Is that okay? So Yes, we knew that there's going to be multiversal cells. I'm just going to refer to our Doctor Strange as 616 because we've had Marvel has confirmed in the past that this universe has been called 616.
Right.
Mysterio and just was a lucky even though it was written by his buddy friend and his buddy friend just said we're universe 616. Mysterio nailed it by accident.
Yeah. So yeah,
but they minor spoiler, they officially do
are
classify
616,
it as Universe 616, but that's been pretty much common knowledge.
Yeah.
So that's how I'll refer to our Doctor Strange as
616.
616.
Yeah, I just like giving him a hard time.
Yeah.
But Benedict Cumberbatch, I really can't say anything about Benedict Cumberbatch because we all knew how he was going to be good.
Oh yeah,
he's always solid, always.
And that's where I feel Marvel's strong suit is finding the right actor for the right role. They might want an actor in the MCU, but just don't have the role for them yet. Mm-hmm. Benedict Cumberbatch is one of those ones like Robert Downey Jr., like Chris Evans, where I feel they nailed it. And it's very hard to see anyone else playing Doctor Strange. Even though we could possibly, if the multiverse continues, we might see a multiversal self of him
played by somebody else.
Played by someone else. But it's at this point, we know exactly who Doctor Strange is. We go into this movie knowing who Doctor Strange is. But we actually come out of this movie learning more about Doctor Strange in ways that even I didn't anticipate, which was really, really cool.
Neither did I. And it's all kudos to Benedict Cumberbatch. And he was willing to go further in that character development that we really, even though, yeah, we saw a lot of it in the first Doctor Strange and we saw bits of it in Infinity War and
quite a bit of it in What If. And even Benedict Cumberbatch came back to voice that What If character. So, we have a lot.
Yeah. So you got to give a lot of credit to Benedict Cumberbatch, and I know he just did an interview saying that he'll play Doctor Strange for as long as he needs to, which please Benedict Cumberbatch do, but still remember that you still need to get paid.
Yes.
And
know your worth.
Know your worth. Yes. So now it's time we talked about
one of my personal favorite characters that has really come into her own,
especially after that
couple, especially after WandaVision. Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch,
played by Elizabeth Olsen.
Standout, absolute standout.
I mean, scene stealer, standout.
We genuinely we can't talk about her too much, unfortunately, because the trailers insinuate one thing as opposed to what actually happens in the movie.
We can say that she plays alternate versions of herself.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's all of her character development, I feel like, has been leading to this movie. Everything from her start with her introduction in Age of Ultron all the way through WandaVision, everything, I feel like this entire process has been leading up to this movie for her. We see wonderful things from her. If people wonder, are we actually going to see the Scarlet Witch in this movie? Absolutely, you will. The amount that Marvel takes with her is top notch. I think it's one of the best depictions, comic book wise, to movie ever created, and that comes down to both Michael Waldron, who wrote the script, but especially to Elizabeth Olsen, who put in all that time and effort to really dig into this character and see how Wanda really ticks, and she's nailed it.
And you got to give
shines in this movie.
You got to give Sam Raimi a little credit too, because
of course, yes,
because even though Elizabeth Olsen was saying lines on the script, she was doing the character work and phenomenal character work, but Sam Raimi, who knows, behind the scenes, he may wanted her to may have pushed her a little bit, be like, look, this is your moment. This is your moment. Do it. You just finished a great WandaVision show. This is big. Do what you are known to do. Act.
And she pulled it off.
Oh, absolutely. Kudos to you, Elizabeth Olsen. You deserve a lot of praise from this
Genuinely,
movie.
Do I feel like she should win Best Supporting Actress? No. Because I do freaking love her in this. But should she at least get nominated? Hands down, yes. For this.
Or at least looked at.
At least looked at. Because the amount of work that she has put in for these couple of times, she plays it so well. And the fact that she even gets to play multiple versions of herself, like, perfect.
And just there were so many beautiful moments in her character too. And again, we can't say that right now. But what we can do is we can go one more person forward in our cast.
Yep.
And Zach, can you pronounce this?
I will try. I am so sorry if we butcher your name. We're gonna say Zachtel Gomez, who played America Chavez.
She was good.
She was great.
Yeah.
That was one character that I wish we got to see more of in this movie, especially with how central her role was to this movie. But I feel like it's a safe bet that we are going to be seeing more of her. So I look forward. She was really well introduced into our universe, and I look forward to seeing where she performs later in this this MCU. And I think she is going to be brilliant and lead to even more brilliant, not even story possibilities, but also just wonderful character moments. Because I feel like that's where Zachtel really does earn her weight in this movie, is all those interpersonal character moments that she has with all the characters.
And there were a lot of moments between America Chavez and Doctor Strange that almost reminded you of, dare I say, it almost reminded me of No Way Home a little bit sometimes.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
Because Doctor Strange kind of did that mentor a few times.
A mentor and almost...
kind of like a big brother almost.
Like big brother, or I don't want to say father figure, but like pretty close to it. Because he genuinely sees that this kid is in trouble. And he
wants to protect her.
He cannot help but to protect her. He has to.
Right.
And especially after everything that goes down, he feels responsible to protect her.
Yes. But now we're... Benedict Wong as Wong.
We must bow to the Sorcerer Supreme. We must bow. Because, oh my gosh, Wong, every single time when you think Wong can't get better, he just does.
I can't actually believe that he has been... Okay, so he's been in Doctor Strange. He's been in Infinity War.
He's been in Shang-Chi.
Endgame. A little bit of What If. I think he's in What If.
A little bit of What If, yeah.
Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
In the 6 years he's been in the MCU, he's been in 7 projects.
He's the new Phil Coulson, y'all.
He is.
I love
it. Wait a minute. Was he in Eternals?
I think...
He may not have been.
I don't think so. There's some part of me that's thinking that it's a possibility, but I don't remember him in Eternals.
I don't think he was in Thor Ragnarok either, was he?
No, I don't think so either.
But still, he's been in a ton. I feel
more than most other actors have
I
been.
feel like he's not the next Phil Coulson. I think he's the next Samuel L. Jackson.
No, I say
Fury.
Phil Coulson.
You say Phil Coulson?
Phil Coulson. He's going to have his hand in a lot of things. Especially after that Shang-Chi reveal at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be the next Phil Coulson. He's going to have his hands in everything.
Okay. But yeah, not much to say about Benedict Wong, except he was great.
Like, again, he's the Sorcerer Supreme.
He's got to.
Doctor Strange isn't. So he's the one that is protecting the multiverse from everything. So Doctor Strange might be Wong's henchman. Esque person. Like, I feel like they're kind of like both Sorcerer Supreme, but like Wong is just the one that has the title.
Right.
So I think that's such an interesting dynamic that Marvel has set up, and it's really amazing. But we can go ahead and continue on to another friend that we want to talk about a lot, but we can't. But we can talk about at least a bit about her, at least, which is Rachel McAdams as Dr. Christine Palmer. Mitch, what did you think of Rachel McAdams in this one, especially compared to her last outing with Doctor Strange?
Well, Zach, I really can't talk about it too much because, again, spoilers, but she was fine.
Okay.
She was fine.
Sure.
Which I feel like she was better in this one than she was in Doctor Strange.
Okay.
But I also felt that had something to do with the script, gave her better dialogue.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like Sam Raimi really pushes his actors and actresses a lot to get the best that they can.
Uh-huh.
And also feel that he teases them a lot.
Sure.
Not in, like, being mean, but he likes to mess with them a little bit. Mm-hmm. And because I saw some behind the scenes for like Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, and he's always like, he knows that he's going to get what he wants, but he'll go up to the actor and be like, if you don't do this, you're going to get off the set. He actually did that with Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 2 because it was a big moment, and he goes, if you don't do it this way, I'm going to have you fired and you're going to get kicked off the set. And Tobey was like, Sam, I don't like you talking to me in that manner. And Sam's like, are you talking back to me?
You're talking back to your director, sir.
But that's the kind of director that a lot of actors want to work with because they like to have fun behind the camera and they know that they want greatness.
Yeah. But one that's willing to collaborate but yet give their spin on it. Like it's you want the perfect marriage of all, but
that's why I feel Rachel McAdams did much better in this one than she did in the last one. And no disrespect to Scott Derrickson.
No.
But Sam Raimi just really, really wants everything out of the characters and everything out of the actors that portray these characters. Yeah. So we can talk about these cast performances all day.
Yeah.
We can do this all day.
Well, I have to give still my thoughts on Rachel McAdams.
Well, shoot. Well, dang it. Well, I'm waiting.
But all right. But yeah, I have to echo what you basically said because, again, can't talk about it in too detail. But I feel like Christine was an afterthought in the first Doctor Strange. She was just there as a love interest, and that was it. Yes, she is the love interest in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but they do such a wonderful job with actually including her in this story, more so than you would think.
Mm-hmm. Because in the first one, Doctor Strange would just like portal to her after getting beat up by a bunch of bad guys.
Well, and it's just, I just feel like they realized they messed up with the first one, and you have a grade A quality actress like Rachel McAdams in this role.
Right.
Why would you underutilize her?
Right.
So I feel like this movie was a little bit more of an apology letter to her, but I still feel like at the same time, they still could have done more with her. She's still underutilized. I feel like they can still do so much more with her and her character. And what I am really worried about is that they won't. I'm getting on spoiler territory here, but like that's all I'm going to say at this point right now is that I'm worried that we had such a great actress in this movie, and there is a possibility of her returning in the future.
I'm sure.
But for all intents and purposes, it looks like this could possibly be her last outing. And
it's disappointing.
It's disappointing if this is her final performance because of how underutilized she was.
All right, so we're done talking about the cast, but before we go any further, I want to continue my thought. We can talk about these cast performances all day, like I said, but a lot of the credit also goes to Sam Raimi because he knows what he wanted with these characters.
Yes, I do agree, but I also believe that we should also bring up a warning really quick as well. We probably should have said this before we got into the cast, so bear with us here. So there is one thing, how trailers have been taking like 20-30 minutes to get before the start of the movie, and we can't there are a few definites in my life currently. One that I am a Disney cast member, so all of my views do not represent the brand or the company.
Neither do mine.
2, I'm a movie fan. I've always has been.
Me too.
And number 3, Nicole Kidman will always play in front of an AMC movie.
Oh, God.
But one thing that I have to say, and I have to warn you, even though it takes about 20 minutes for these trailers to finish before your actual movie starts of Doctor Strange, try not to miss them.
Try to get there.
Try to get there. Because there is one trailer in there that is attached specifically to this movie.
You won't see it online for another week. You won't see it
online until about Monday or Tuesday. And this is a movie. This is a trailer that should be experienced in the theater first.
It's a big movie.
It's a big movie, and I don't know if some people even know that this is coming out. For a lot of us movie fans, it's been the brunt of jokes with when this is actually going to come out. Mm-hmm. But
it's coming out this year, I think.
But it's coming out this holiday.
Oh, it is this holiday, yeah.
We
can't say much.
We can't say much, but what we will say is
be at the trailers.
Be at the trailers. Don't miss the trailers.
All right, so
for us, it was the last trailer.
It was the last trailer.
So if it's the same with all movies, which I have a feeling they probably will save it for the final trailer for any theater. Mm-hmm. But stick around. Try to get there early.
All right, so...
But yes, now back to your point. A lot of what had to happen in this movie is really thanks to Sam Raimi.
Yes, everything... And there were a few times during the movie where you whispered to me, yeah, that's total Sam Raimi. That's total Sam Raimi. And as soon as the movie starts, it felt like a Sam Raimi movie.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And the sad thing is, and I'm going to... try to do 2 bullet points.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I know where you're going with this.
The horror elements of this movie, they were present, but not that much. And not in the style of Evil Dead, with Sam Raimi.
And don't get us wrong.
It's creepy.
You can feel there are moments of horror. Mm-hmm. When we get into the spoiler section, we'll talk about where those segments of horror are really focused.
Right.
But horror is present, but this is by no means a horror film. I feel like some people are touting this as. Mm-hmm. It is definitely one of the scarier, quote unquote, Marvel films that we've had, but by no means a horror film. I feel like to say it is a defamation to horror because, and this comes from Sam Raimi, who makes his meat and potatoes is horror. Right. He comes from the horror background.
That's where he started, I think.
So I wish there was more horror from this, but at the same time, it's interesting because the first director of Doctor Strange,
Scott Derrickson,
which is Scott Derrickson, he also has a background in horror. Mm-hmm. And from what it sounds like, he wanted to add more horror in the first one, and then Marvel said, no, don't do it.
We're not ready for that
We're not ready for that yet. And he said, okay. And he made Doctor Strange 1, and he came out, and then he signed on for Doctor Strange 2. And then again, he said, I want more horror in this movie. And then they said no, and he said, okay.
I'll executive produce.
I'll executive produce, but I'm kind of done with the project. That's not my vision of the character. And then Marvel got Sam Raimi, which we are all happy and excited.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because, like how you said, this feels more like a director's movie than any other Marvel movie ever.
Well, I've
never felt such a director's presence than in this movie because, like you said, this was a Sam Raimi movie. Mm-hmm. This isn't like a Marvel this is a Sam Raimi movie. Mm-hmm. So it really is a very interesting thing to actually kind of feel that in a Marvel movie, and I loved it. But it's just interesting how it felt like the reason why this movie really succeeds for me is for the reason that the first director had to leave, which was creativity.
Right.
And creative license, which I feel like Kevin Feige gave Sam Raimi more of
Right.
than of Scott Derrickson.
Well, it's so funny because I've been noticing a lot lately with the past Marvel films, like Shang-Chi, like Eternals, dare I say, a little bit of No Way Home.
Yeah.
I've been noticing a little bit more director focused.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Like Black Widow, I feel like Marvel may had some little...
Yeah. Eternals would also be, I guess, a very big one, too. That one was a very big director presence as well.
But Shang-Chi, I felt like, had a big director presence in that. But I've been noticing a lot lately that since, really, in my opinion, I've been noticing a lot ever since Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah,
I've been noticing it more and more and more and more. And it's not because I think, and a little bit of backstory here. So when Marvel Studios became Marvel Studios, they weren't purchased by Disney just yet.
Correct. They were produced by Paramount.
By Paramount. They were bought in 2009, but it was, so Kevin Feige was producing.
Yep.
But he had to report to this Marvel Creative Committee, who was ran by Ike
Perlmutter,
and he had Avi Arad up his ass too.
That's true, but Ike Perlmutter is notorious for being the cheapest of the cheapest of the cheap.
Yeah, and go ahead.
Genuine asshole.
Yeah, well, and Avi Arad's not the nicest person either.
No, but Ike Perlmutter is
He's
the
a
most
dick.
stubborn and dickish of the two. And Ike Perlmutter was the one who the buck stopped at before they got to Alan Horn.
So, and then Disney bought them, and the way it was Kevin Feige had to report to the Marvel Creative Committee, such as Ike Perlmutter, and then they would have reported to Alan Horn, then Iger, and whatever. And over time, you started seeing films that weren't director driven. You had Iron Man 2, even though there's a little bit of director, but a lot of studio interference. The first Thor had a little bit of studio interference. Iron Man 3 had a lot.
Well, here's the thing. We can't not say Marvel doesn't studio interfere, because it does.
Oh, yeah.
Marvel is the biggest, like, if you look in the dictionary of studio interference, the first name on the list is Marvel Studios, even today, because Marvel has a map.
Yeah.
And if you don't fit in that map and you don't advance their story, you're out.
Right. Like Alan Taylor.
Marvel has their hands on it. The difference is where, if we look at the difference between Sony and Marvel, Sony is, I have to kind of quote a really great reviewer over on the John Campea show. Sony is run by suits.
Yep.
Marvel is run by a fan.
Yeah.
Specifically Kevin Feige.
Absolutely.
Kevin Feige understands what comics are. He has an ear to the fan base. Sony is run by suits. Suits look at graphs and see what's popular and try to go through that. But Feige knows secretly what we want, and if it's not what we want, what will work in option B and still surprise us.
Well, Kevin Feige also has this feel for story too. And I feel like after a while, Kevin Feige got really frustrated with the creative committee and Ike Perlmutter, because they were suits.
Yeah, they were suits.
And Kevin Feige is a fan, and he's and I think it was during Civil War because Kevin Feige wanted all this to happen, and they had it mapped out that Tony Stark was going to die at Endgame. But the committee didn't want that. And then finally Kevin went to Bob Iger and said, I can't report to them anymore. I need to report to Alan Horn, and that's what happened. And
I remember that too.
Yeah.
And there's a famous quote. It wasn't official, like Kevin Feige didn't flat out officially publish this, or it hasn't been published, but there was a report that Kevin Feige was talking to one of the Russo brothers, and he said, all right, I'm about to go in this meeting. You'll know if I'm still in charge once I come out of it.
I remember that too.
And it's because he cares so much, which is great and wonderful. And it's led to the MCU that we know today is because of Kevin Feige.
But again, it goes back to ever since that moment when that committee disbanded, I've been feeling, and like you said, there's still, I'm sure, some, like you said, interference because, it's Marvel Studios. They do have a map. But Kevin Feige trusts his directors.
Yeah.
He really, really does. Now, if they need help, like trying to figure out, because I'm sure Sam he admitted like he had to catch up on the MCU before he made this movie. Yeah. So I'm sure he probably called Kevin and texted him and be like, what do I need to do in order to make this universe keep going in this fashion? I'm sure. And there were a few reshoots too.
Well, and what movie doesn't do reshoots?
Absolutely.
Now?
And I'm sorry, those reshoots that people were concerned about, no, there was no reason to be concerned.
Yeah, no.
And
it's I genuinely do not understand why people freak out about reshoots anymore.
It's not that big of a deal.
Every movie does it now. Mm-hmm. It's part of the production process. Like if an indie film goes back to reshoots, I would be surprised because it's an indie film and it's usually one person's vision and direction. Mm-hmm. And usually you get that and you really can't afford reshoots.
Right.
But if it's a multi-budget blockbuster and it says it has reshoots, sorry, there's a growing list of that. It almost happens on every single major blockbuster now. So I have no worries, ifs, ands, or buts about any reshoots anymore.
Neither do I. But, okay, so we talked about Sam Raimi. We talked about the horror.
And kind of lack thereof, but still a genuine Sam Raimi movie.
You know what normally a Sam Raimi movie has other than horror?
Some really great fight scenes.
Well, yeah, and the fight scenes were fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like we got to save that for spoiler.
Well, that's true. But what else does Sam Raimi usually have in his back pocket that usually is so really wonderful? And I was so happy when I learned that he was gonna join him on this movie.
Are you talking about a certain person?
Yeah, John Williams.
No. John Williams?
No.
Was it Danny Elfman?
Yeah, Danny Elfman.
His music.
Right.
Oh, that. I mean, okay, so Michael Giacchino.
We love you.
We love you. John Williams.
We love you even more.
Hans Zimmer. Great.
You're great.
Alan Silvestri.
We
love you.
We love you.
But Danny Elfman. Oh, man.
Puts a smile on my face whenever I see that he's going to be the composer for the movies.
I completely forgot that he was going to be the guy doing the music.
Mm-hmm. And you can tell. You can genuinely
as soon as you heard it, I'm like, wait a minute. That sounds like Danny Elfman. And by golly, yeah.
This is a Danny Elfman score.
I think I even asked you, and I go, Danny Elfman's doing this music, isn't he?
Yep.
And I remember that, and I'm like, oh, shoot, that's just fine and dandy. I just can't. Danny Elfman just has this knack for, and I watched some interviews of him, the way that he makes a film score. Mm-hmm. It's almost like he's building a massive puzzle.
Yeah.
And all these pieces are his themes.
Yep.
And he has to really make sure that all these pieces fit, all these themes fit, or the score's not going to do well.
Yeah.
And he puts a ton of pressure on himself, on his musicians, on just the music itself. And he always has a solid music score.
Oh, yeah. 100%. And there are moments in this movie where music actually matters.
Oh, yeah. But we can't say that.
We can't talk about it, but music actually matters.
God damn it. We can't talk about that.
We can't talk about anything in this movie.
Shit. That means we got to get moving.
It's true. But, yeah, no. And Danny Elfman's always a win.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there really isn't much else to talk about. You hit it on the head. He's a genuine music storyteller, and it's showcased here. He does such a wonderful job, and even pays homage to other scores.
Oh, yeah.
Other people, which is really wonderful. Because you know you're a master of music when you can recognize other masters of music.
Like you heard a little bit of Michael Giacchino's Doctor Strange score, because he did the Doctor Strange score.
Yep, and There's there's two more scores. One is really, really spoilery. Another is semi-spoilery because it's a character introduction.
I'm not saying it.
We're not going to go into it.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's
the dude is a masterclass. Dude.
It's said in the credits, yeah.
Yeah.
But one more thing.
Yeah. We should talk about first off, just like the multiverse. Like, it is the multiverse of madness. How did the multiverse go for this? What did you think of Marvel's... this is its second foray into the third foray.
Fourth. Loki.
Oh, yeah.
What If?
Well, okay, fifth then, because we have No Way Home.
This.
We have this. We have Far From Home, which was kind of a multiverse movie.
But it turned out
it wasn't. But still, it was like the first like sprinkle of multiverse that we got.
What If?
And
Loki,
and WandaVision.
So six times. But this is out of
number 7.
Huh?
Well, then this would be number 7 because we counted 6 movies. This would be number 7.
You counted. Okay, so
Doctor Strange,
yeah.
which is number 1. Which we saw multiple universes in the first.
Oh yes.
Then we have Loki, which is number 2.
What If?
What If is number 3.
Far From Home. No Way Home.
And
WandaVision. And now Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness, which is number 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of their genuine step into the multiverse?
Great first step. I wanted more.
Yeah.
Great first step. This, I will say this is one small step for the multiverse, but not
one giant leap for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Not I didn't want a lot because what we saw was great.
Yeah.
But I just wanted a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not just like a little piece.
Yeah. First, I remember the first thing that I stepped out of the theater and we started talking about.
Yeah.
I mentioned it was the multiverse was great in this movie, but Everything Everywhere All at Once did it better.
I will agree.
But it's still, I don't want to knock it because it's huge. And it genuinely is a multiverse of madness that we see in this one. But we really don't spend a whole lot of time in the multiverse. We do, but we don't. It's kind of weird. I can't really
say
talk about it.
But we're almost there.
And it's just one of those things of where if you're expecting a great amount of absolutely bonkers and spending a lot of time in the bonkers, you're not going to get it. You aren't. Because you're going to see clips of bonkers, just like small little bits of bonkers, and then you move on.
So I will say, I feel like if they added a lot more of all the worlds in the multiverse, I feel like you wouldn't have got such a linear story as what we had.
Correct. That is true.
But
at the same time, I feel like... So the one that I feel like we're going to get like the best interpretation of the multiverse is a movie that was slated for this year and is now no longer in this year's slate and is actually not going to be produced by Marvel.
Are you talking about what we're thinking you're talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about our friend Spider-Man and Into the Spider-Verse.
I thought you were talking about The Flash.
Oh, no. Absolutely not. That movie's going to be a dumpster fire. I'm sorry. I know. I can tell you right now, that movie's going to be a dumpster fire.
Even with Michael Keaton?
Even with Michael Keaton, I have no hope for that movie.
It's because of Ezra Miller.
Partially, but even before then, I have no hope for that movie.
Okay. But yeah, I will agree with Across the Spider-Verse.
But the fact that, this is the reason why, is because, as I said in my in our top 10, each multiverse is going to have its own art director, and it's going to have its own place in the movie. So That being said, the fact that you have so much focus on the universes that you're giving its own a director for each universe, perfect.
Right.
Remarkable. And that's how I feel like a multiverse should be treated.
Well, the sad thing is you can't really do that with a live action film.
And that's the hard thing.
Well, you could, because it's possible.
Yeah, it is possible, but it would be hard. But like how you said, it wouldn't be as linear. I feel like
it'd be more of a grander scale,
juxtaposed. And I feel like the best thing about when you have one director or a co-director that are working together in tandem, you have a more linear idea of where you're going, and you have more. I always feel actors and characters are ingredients. The director is the sauce that binds it all together and makes it feel consistent. It's that consistent taste in each and every bite.
Correct.
So if you have multiple directors, it can be a little hairy, but I feel like Into the Spider-Verse will navigate that better. And specifically with the multiverse, which was what I was trying to get to.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, we can't really discuss anymore, but it's time we reviewed it.
It is time we reviewed it. So as a review, as Mitch said, we like to split our reviews usually into 3 categories. If we loved it, we say we ate it up. If we feel like could be better, wasn't bad, just needed a little extra time to cook or a little extra seasoning, or do we feed it to my dog?
Is he hungry?
He is kind of hungry, I think. I don't know. He was fed.
Okay.
Whether or not he eats right now is his prerogative, but
that's his choice.
That's his choice. So Mitch, what is your verdict and review on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness?
So this is my number 3, as we mentioned earlier.
Yep.
So I did read reviews, as I mentioned that to you last night, and I feel like a lot of people were saying like, oh, this movie's a mess. It's still a good movie, but it's still a messy plot of a film. But as I was watching this movie after discussing it just now, yeah, the plot was messy.
Okay.
But it's in the title, The Multiverse of Madness. Sam Raimi and the screenwriter and Kevin Feige wanted this movie to be madness. So I'm saying I ate this up.
Okay.
Because they did exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi and the screenwriter and Kevin Feige, Benedict Cumberbatch, the entire cast, they set out to have a goal.
Sure.
To make a multiversal film.
Yeah.
And even though we wanted more of it, we got it.
Yeah.
I applaud you, Marvel. You've done it again. Another good movie.
Yay!
Yay, Zach.
All right. So I won't trick you like I did with the Northman.
Damn you. I
ate it up as well. I think that this movie genuinely, as you said, was quite the madness. Again, did it hit in some ways that I was hoping it would? No, but it succeeded in other ways that I didn't know that it could. So even though it didn't fulfill all my expectations, it fulfilled expectations I didn't know I had.
Right.
So well done. Really great. I hope this isn't the end of our multiverse time, especially now that we're going to be getting King the Conqueror as him being a very multiversal entity.
Yeah.
So let's hope and continue to see the multiverse, and let's hope that Marvel continues diving even further into it. But this was a great foray and genuine first introduction to the multiverse proper.
All right, Zach. Sound the alarm.
All right. Wah, wah, wah. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
All right, folks, it is time. We are in the spoiler section. So if you don't want to hear what we have to say, it's time to turn off this podcast.
That it is, but we'll start with a trailer.
Avatar: The Way of Water.
The Way of Water. Okay, so we have to talk about this trailer because
it's my number 10, I think, of this movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And okay.
The audience was loud.
The audience was huge when we first saw the Na'vi hit. Now, granted, we're in Orlando, and we have an entire land based around Avatar.
Pandora.
So we are amongst some target audience members in Orlando. However, the roar that just came from the first time you saw the Na'vi was huge, almost Endgame level.
Well, you mentioned during the trailer and before we started recording, a lot of people may not have known that movie was coming out.
Correct.
But for you and I...
Correct, because this is the franchise that just would not come out.
Yeah, because they kept confirming, there's 2, 3, and 4.
Because we love Cameron McIntosh. He's the best. But by God, this has been his passion project.
Oh, you're talking about James Cameron?
James Cameron, gosh.
My
music theater is bleeding.
Well, because the Wicked.
Yeah.
Wicked, yeah.
But, yeah, no. James Cameron literally... has been working on this for so long. 13 years.
Yeah.
13 years.
Finally.
But here's the thing. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of Avatar. Love the rides.
Absolutely.
I think Pandora's rides are great. The boat ride's okay.
No.
The Flight of Passage is phenomenal. But as a non-Avatar fan... I'm really excited to see what James Cameron has in store for us because, and especially, Avatar sat as the #1 highest grossing movie for so freaking long, and it looked like it was not going to be touched.
Until Endgame.
It took Endgame to release twice, not once, twice. It had to re-release in order to beat Avatar.
What's going to happen with this one?
Genuinely.
Well... And by December, a lot of
theaters will be in full force by December.
Yes,
there's no question at this point
because the Panini's going to be long gone.
Oh, not long gone.
It will be close.
We are in the end, hopefully. Knock on wood. But we're
getting there.
Hope that the theaters will be in full force by then, and I am so excited to see what this movie is going to do. I really love you. This is, now don't get me wrong, this is a teaser. This isn't a official trailer. This is a teaser trailer. We don't get much story out of this, but as James Cameron has said, these movies are going to actually be generational.
Yes.
We are going to focus on Sully's kids on this one, and then we're gonna focus on the kids on the next one, and the kids on the one after. This is gonna be a generational story that we are gonna see out of the Avatar universe. So it's gonna be an interesting new way of looking at a franchise, which I'm kind of excited about, and I think that this is gonna be a very interesting foray into the Avatar universe. And what a cool way to focus on water, since the first one was kind of in the air.
Well, and the teaser spent a lot of time in the water.
Oh, yeah.
There's that new technology with filming performance capture underwater.
Yep.
And already, I mean, I can't say a lot, even though, yes, we are in the spoiler section. Just, you got to see it. You have to see it.
You can only say so much.
Yes. You just have to see it. So, we talked about that.
Yep.
It's Wanda time.
It's Wanda time. She's
the bad guy.
Oh, Scarlet Witch is here, man.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch is here.
And she's actually said that, too.
Yeah.
And she even says, like, at the beginning of the movie, when you think that she's being mean, she's only being reasonable. Right. Well,
and then,
when she says, you're going to deal with the Scarlet Witch. And I'm like, oh, and I think you like, I think you even said that, yeah, except that came out in full force. And the entire audience was like, and that's why I love going to opening nights with Marvel films, because even though it can get loud, like No Way Home, and you kind of lose some of the the dialogue, but our audience.
Oh yeah, because we actually missed one of the first bits of dialogue from one character that I really want to see, who we'll get to.
Yeah.
We actually missed their first bit of dialogue due to the amount of cheer, partially done by myself.
Yes. I wanted to hear it.
I did want to hear it too, but I was way too darn excited. But getting back to Wanda, oh God, like everything from WandaVision was paid off in this movie. Every little bit. And oh my God, was Sam Raimi the right director to actually bring us the Scarlet Witch in full force? Because we talked about how horror is Sam Raimi's bread and butter. Most of the horror is channeled through Scarlet Witch. She is the monster of this movie.
Even though she thinks she's not a monster.
Even though and that's the best thing about our sympathetic villains. When you do them right, you genuinely understand and feel for them. Wanda has been beaten multiple times. She has had her brother killed, the love of her life she had to murder, only to have that be pointless. And they flat out say that in the movie.
Yeah, well, and Doctor Strange saying that her kids weren't real.
And but they were real to her. And they were real to us.
So you mentioned sympathetic villains. Other than Thanos, you got to put Wanda right behind Thanos as one of the best Marvel villains, even over Loki, because immediately when she became the villain of the movie, because at first you're like, okay, she's gonna help, but then it quickly turns. I mean, immediately.
Yeah.
You just immediately just felt the pain, the struggle, the pure anger.
Well, and that was the thing. So how you figure it out is because Doctor Strange goes to Wanda to talk about helping
America Chavez,
a girl that he found, and she says, "Where is America now?" And when it happened, the line was like, "Oh, he didn't. There must be something."
We missed.
Something missed. But then Doctor Strange stops and it's like, Wanda's like, "You didn't say her name, didn't you?"
No, I didn't.
No, I did not.
And then
it just turns, and this very peaceful setting that we thought we were in at the end of WandaVision actually has become a gigantic hellscape of witchcraft.
Well, and that's when they had that conversation of, Doctor Strange broke the rules with giving Thanos the time stone.
And he's lauded as a hero.
Yes, but yet Wanda just wanted to have a peaceful life in Westview with this fake Vision and the fake children, which is technically breaking the rules, yes. But
she's treated as the villain.
But she's then not. And I was thinking this, and I had a conversation with a friend of mine today about it. It's not fair.
It isn't.
It's really not fair, and that's why I think Wanda is one of the best Marvel villains that's came out under Thanos and above Loki, because you feel for her.
Yeah.
And this has been building ever since Age of Ultron. You saw it in Civil War.
Yep.
You saw it a lot in Infinity War.
Yep. And especially, even though you only saw Wanda a hair of a second in Endgame,
you saw it.
You felt it.
I don't even know who you are.
You will.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we will.
Yeah.
And then it just goes on for display. It is the main course is Wanda's grief in WandaVision. Like, that is the thing that sold me on WandaVision, was going through her stages of grief and really going through all those stages. Not that I want to see someone grieving. Honestly, no. I don't want to see someone go through pain. But how Elizabeth Olsen just goes through it in WandaVision, and how it's all culminated to the point where she's like, no, I have suffered long enough. I am a Nexus being. I have the ability to be the most powerful being in all the universe. And
all the multiverse.
Even Doctor Strange flat out says it at the beginning of this movie, because she goes, "Why would you come to me? There's a whole bunch of other Avengers." Well, and then Doctor Strange goes, "Well, I could talk to the insect characters. I could talk to
the Hawkeye
guy with a bow and arrow, or I can actually talk to a witch who can tear apart, who can create reality.
And he also wants
no competition.
And he also wants to get her back on the lunchbox. But yes, it really, again, you have to see it. You have to see it. The whole time, I just have to say, the whole time during this section, I'm going to repeat, you need to see this movie.
Yeah.
You have to see it. So yes, Wanda as the villain, second best Marvel villain, bar none.
Yeah.
Period. Amen.
Yep.
Well, second, and you say Loki is the third?
Yeah.
I think Norman Osborn is number 3, but that's me.
That's fair.
Yeah.
No, I think Norman is a 4.
Okay.
But that's because of his character building from the first Sam Raimi movie.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take the first Sam Raimi movie out, then meh.
Okay, so
But Loki, I feel for more.
Okay.
But
yeah.
yes, we have to go now back to probably one of the biggest things, and I promise we're gonna get to my favorite part and probably the biggest part that a lot of fans have been pumping for at the very end. So I ask for your patience. So we're gonna start with bringing in the Illuminati.
The Illuminati?
The
Okay, so I'm sorry. I've been wanting to do that all day. I've been so excited to talk about this.
Yeah.
I literally almost had a heart attack today.
Yeah.
Because I've been wanting to talk about it. The Illuminati. It's time.
It's time to talk about them.
Patrick Stewart.
Yep. Let's start with the one that we all knew going into this movie was coming.
Zach. We should tell them the truth.
We should tell them the truth.
Yes, thank you.
We have Patrick Stewart come back as Charles Xavier.
But an alternate version.
An alternate version. This specifically echoes the animated series with the gold chair and the olive green suit.
Did you
really nice.
hear a little bit of the theme?
Yeah.
I heard a little bit of it.
A little bit of the animated theme. It was really nice.
And no, he's not the 90s. He's not that Charles Xavier.
No, he's not.
Thankfully.
I think it's 838.
It was 838, yeah.
Specific universe we were talking about.
And now, were we going to talk about the certain things that happen to these characters during them, or do you want to wait till the end?
We'll introduce everybody,
Okay.
and then we'll talk about.
Yeah, I wanted to get that
Yeah.
out of the way. But
No, good question.
yeah, well, thank you very much. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Typical Patrick Stewart.
Oh,
no,
and here's the thing.
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Sir Patrick Stewart. Yes, we should have note him as proper.
Oh, I'm so
Here's
excited.
the thing. Going into this movie, he was gonna be my character. I was like, okay, is this just a cash grab, or is he gonna bring it? He's not in the movie for very long. I will say that, because he isn't. But especially after, because Charles Xavier and Logan, I was like, yeah, that is the end to Patrick Stewart's time as
Charles Xavier.
That's it. Mm-hmm. We got our ending from both Hugh Jackman and Sir Patrick Stewart.
And you still had James McAvoy as.
Yep. So like, it wasn't the end of the character, but it was the end of Sir Patrick Stewart's time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was worried going into this that this was going to be a cash grab.
So the reason
but
why
it wasn't. It wasn't a cash grab.
No, well,
and you can tell that he genuinely cared about it, and he gave it the same gravitas and respect. And you can really see it in the final scene that he's in when he tries to go into Wanda's mind and save the original Wanda,
the 838
Wanda instead of 616 Wanda. Like, because you can see that he still genuinely cares for this character, and it's the reason why he came back.
Yeah, well, also credit.
The money's not bad too.
Well, credit goes to maybe Kevin Feige as well and Sam Raimi.
Because I feel like they probably had to convince him into this.
Oh, for sure. Oh, and okay, Sir Patrick Stewart, if you ever listen to this, you need to take better lying tests with Andrew Garfield, because there's that interview that he took after the Super Bowl trailer, and you hear it, and he's like, I barely recognize my own voice. You literally just confirmed you're in the movie. Bro, okay, I love you, Sir Patrick Stewart, but man, you need to get Andrew Garfield on the phone, and he needs to teach you how to lie, because I'm sure Kevin was pissed at you, but yes. he was phenomenal in this movie for what little that we saw. And when I was watching this and there were a lot of lines that he said, I'm just like, that is just prototypical Charles Xavier, Professor X, Sir Patrick Stewart. I almost teared up at one line. I can't remember what exactly he said, but it had to deal with like, and now we'll see what kind of Doctor Strange you are. Yeah. But it just...
No, the line that actually almost made me tear up from him was him trying to help Wanda.
Oh, yes.
Him trying to pull her out of the gravel. Because that is prototypical Professor X. Is him trying to help in the most dire of situations and having the faith that he can. We'll go on later to what actually happens, but we'll move on to...
One quick thing.
Oh, yes, okay.
So you also, in the comic books, Scarlet Witch is the daughter of Magneto.
Correct.
So you know that there may be, and who knows, this version, 838 Wanda Maximoff, he may know her as Magneto's daughter.
Yeah.
So you could tell that there was a little bit of an emotional attachment to her because, Magneto and Charles, they're friends.
Yeah.
Even though they fight a lot, they're friends.
Yep.
He may see her as a daughter, even though it's not his daughter.
Correct.
It's Magneto's daughter. He's like, that's my friend's daughter. I need to help her.
Yeah.
And you felt that almost. And it was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But yes, it's time.
For Haley Atwell.
Captain Carter.
She
said the line.
She did.
She said the line.
That she could do this all day. You know what? I could watch her all day.
Chris Evans would be proud.
Genuinely, they did. It's like, obviously Haley came back in order to voice the character when they did it in What If, but it's straight out of What If. It's
not the version of What If.
It's not the version of What If, but it's freaking straight out.
Oh yeah. It was great. It was phenomenal.
It's so cool when you get to see something like that, and it also just kind of puts weight to What If, because a lot of people coming out of What If is, does this really matter? Does it not?
It does now.
It does, and we do care about everything that just happened, and it just looks like Haley Atwell was just happy to be there and had a lot of fun doing it, and it was great. It was great to see her just kicking butt and taking names.
So, who probably definitely had a lot of fun, especially after what he did previously with this character? Yeah. Anson Mount comes back as Black Bolt.
Yeah, I feel like him...
With the Inhuman show.
He needed to prove something to himself.
Because he did well in the Inhumans.
He did, and it's very hard to play Black Bolt. You genuinely have to be a physical actor for Black Bolt.
Well, he had
You can't speak in that role. You really can't.
So there's a beautiful moment. Can we talk about that vision, or do you want to wait till we're done talking?
Yeah, we can talk.
There's a vision that the Illuminati shows to Doctor Strange. And it talks about their version, their 838 Doctor Strange version, and what happens. So basically what happens, he takes over the Darkhold of that universe. To beat Thanos. But it causes... do you remember the word, Zach? I can't think of what the word...
He obliterates a multiverse.
Yes.
A universe.
Was it an incursion? It was an incursion.
An incursion, yeah.
He obliterates another universe.
Completely. No one in that universe survives. We're not talking about a planet. We're talking about that entire universe gone. Dead.
We don't know.
Destroyed.
We don't know which one, obviously.
Yeah.
But so it actually goes to Titan. The vision goes to Titan, and there you see Doctor Strange after everyone has told him what happened, and Doctor Strange looks at Charles and says, "I'm ready," and Charles says, "I will miss you, my friend." That almost had me teared.
Yeah.
And then here comes Anson Mount as Black Bolt, and he says, the only line that he says in this movie, "I'm sorry." Was it "I'm sorry"?
Yep.
Yeah. And it kills the 838 version of Doctor Strange. And that moment, even though that was his only line, Anson Mount was the only person that could do that with Black Bolt. He did it superbly.
Well, because it helps when you've casted a role for that and you're like,
I'm sure you'd do it again.
Inhumans was not great. It genuinely is the it is the black sheep of the MCU, and I believe it's literally.
No one talks about it.
No one talks about it. Like, we sometimes talk about Iron Fist. We do not talk about Inhumans.
We're actually not talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore either.
Yeah, but it's we really, really, really. It was an unfortunate thing, and again,
very sad.
It's Inhumans is the epitome of Ike Perlmutter, because that was his first project. Because if you remember, after that split, the agreement was
Marvel
Studios proper for theatrical was under Kevin Feige, and anything of the TV side, whether that was Netflix, whether that was ABC, whatever, was under Ike Perlmutter.
And Jeff Loeb.
And the first project to come out of that was Inhumans.
Because Inhumans was supposed to be a movie originally.
Originally, yes. But then he took it over, and
it was trash.
It was trash because of how cheap it was.
But yes.
The script was terrible. I don't blame the actors.
No.
The CGI was terrible, but I'm just happy he got a second chance.
And he did it wonderfully.
Because you can tell he understood the character in the series. But you really got to see it in this movie, just how much he cared about this character. And I really hope that we get a Inhumans proper in our MCU.
616.
And
he
comes back, I'm hoping.
When you see him sitting at the Illuminati table, he just looks like he belongs there.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Not just Black Bolt, but just Anson Mount. He looks like he belongs with the Illuminati.
Correct.
And it was just phenomenal. It was great.
And his suit redesign was grade A.
Badass.
Grade A. Oh, it looks so good.
All right, so Lashana Lynch as Captain Marvel.
That was one that actually kind of caught me by surprise.
Yeah.
Because, here's the thing with...
I thought we were going to see Monica Rambeau.
Well, I thought we might see Monica Rambeau, but I was... Semi-spoiler. I thought we were going to get Namor in this.
Namor, that's right.
Who is a member of the Illuminati and multiple versions of the Illuminati. So I thought we were going to get our introduction to Namor in this movie.
That would have been neat.
Which would have been really cool.
No Tom Cruise.
As
Dang
Iron
it.
Man.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I had to put that in.
No, it's good.
I even went to Zach after the entire Illuminati came. I said, damn it. No Tom Cruise. And Zach got so mad.
I was like, no, we don't talk about that bullshit.
But yeah, she was great.
But yeah, no, I was genuinely surprised, and I loved her. She was great.
Yeah, she was Maria Rambeau.
She was Maria Rambeau, which is Monica Rambeau's mother.
And the friend of Captain Marvel.
Carol Danvers. Just great surprise. Good, really well done. She earns the Captain Marvel. Yeah, she's great. I loved her.
But now it's... Chiwetel
Ejiofor
as Baron Mordo.
Yep, as Sorcerer Supreme Baron Mordo,
and 838, not the Baron Mordo from 616.
Correct, because going into this movie, I thought we were actually going to get 616 Baron Mordo. No, we get 838.
I feel like this Baron Mordo was just there.
Yeah,
but not at fault to the actor.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things of where they needed an antagonist to capture Strange. I feel like 616 Mordo's story isn't done. I feel like when we get further into the MCU, we're going to see more Chiwetel Ejiofor and more 616 Mordo.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, he was kind of there. He still kind of had some of that weight, but not as much because, again, this is a different Mordo. It's not the same.
No.
You can feel like there's that kind of brotherly rivalry, like, wanting to do better.
You actually see him smile.
Yeah.
And laugh. Which is something I never thought I would see from this character, because he doesn't smile at all in the original Doctor Strange.
But I'm really happy that Chiwetel Ejiofor comes back. And,
for sure.
And I'm really happy that he got to play a different Mordo, but I look forward to his next appearance.
All right, Zach.
My favorite.
Do you want to take the... Okay, folks. This is a big one. This is a big one. This is a character reveal and a new actor reveal.
Mm-hmm. And a possible new director
reveal. And a possible new director.
We won't... It hasn't been announced, and we don't know if it actually will happen.
So Zach looks like he's about to pee his pants. So... Zach, who was it?
John Krasinski's Mr. Fantastic, and I fucking love it. Oh my god, yes!
I hope no one heard that in the house. It was
holy shit, yes.
The whole audience just went ballistic. So yes, he had he when it happened.
I screamed so loud we missed the first bit of dialogue.
Yes.
And the thing was that I actually missed the first alluding to, but Mitch actually caught it for me. Because we get a 838 version of Rachel McAdams'
Christine Palmer.
And we were like, oh, and it happens like right during her character introduction, and she says, I'm part of the Baxter Foundation.
So it's Baxter Building.
So it doesn't mean we're in the Baxter Building specifically.
Right.
But it means that she's working for the Baxter Foundation, which means
Fantastic
that she's working
Four.
for the Fantastic Four. So I missed that, but the second that she said it, Mitch was like, Zach, shut up. She just said the Baxter Foundation, and my jaw dropped, and I was silent until...
I remember. I looked at you, and you were just like, oh, and you wanted it. You wanted it.
Because it basically, from that moment on, I was like, oh, we're getting Mr. Fantastic. Are they about to do what we're about to do?
And then it happened, and boy... So...
because, I'm sorry, but I really have, like, So I really did want John Krasinski to be casted, but to me it was just a fan casting until the pandemic of 2020.
And then you said you wanted to be one.
Some good news. It was something that John Krasinski was doing just to help us get through that really terrible time. But in one of the episodes that he did, he was looking at a comic strip that a fan made, and he said... And that is the only time I will ever be able to get to be a superhero. And then he does a Jim look at the camera and then moves on. And I was like, wait, hold on. No, wait, hold on. Stop. You don't get to stop there. And that's where I felt like the talks probably were starting was in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they were finished. I don't think that the John Krasinski thing actually was set in stone until a little bit later, like maybe 2021, maybe 2022.
I was going to say they did do reshoots.
I think it's possible that it happened during that reshoot era.
Mm-hmm.
They probably had somebody in his place before.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got it inked, so they were able to do the reshoots and get it in. I think that's possible what happened. It might not be.
Well, if you think about it, he was really busy with making Quiet Place Part 2.
Yeah.
He's trying to develop Quiet Place 3. Mm-hmm. And okay, I have to talk about it. You mentioned new director.
Yep.
So originally they announced a Fantastic Four movie.
Correct.
With John Watts.
Correct.
I think the only reason they announced it with him,
with John Watts specifically.
Was this. I think this is how it went down. Mm-hmm. I talked to you about this last night.
Yep.
They went to John Watts and says, hey, John, you're about to finish Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
We have this other project, Fantastic Four. We don't want you to direct it, but we just need...
your name attached.
We need a name attached to it right now. Because, and here's why. I feel like if they would have said John Krasinski is directing this movie, that would have spoiled this.
That would have spoiled this.
So I think if he is going to direct it, and let alone,
we don't even know if John Krasinski is actually coming back for Fantastic
Four. 616, yeah.
This literally could have just been fan service to say, yes, he got to play Reed Richards, and then that's it.
Which, I would actually be okay with that.
You know what? I would be too. However, I like my cake and I like my cookies too, and I want to eat both.
Yeah, so... I really think that John Watts was never going to direct Fantastic Four.
Probably not.
He was never going to do it. I knew as soon as they announced it, I'm like, there's no fucking way he's going to make this movie.
Yeah.
No way. Because I still think he's going to direct Spider-Man 4, in my opinion. It was going to be a while.
I disagree. I feel John Watts, I think his time with Spider-Man is done, and I feel like Spider-Man needs a new direction now that he's getting into his college years.
His GED.
And he's starting to get into a because remember, we just basically had the longest origin story ever,
right?
Which was something that we as fans never thought we needed, but actually
we got it.
Did.
Yeah.
Because that was the one thing that everyone was saying when the new Spider-Man Tom Holland was coming out, is we don't want an origin story.
But we got it, yeah.
But we actually got tricked and got the longest origin story ever.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need a new director to take on this new iteration of Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Okay.
I think what the deal probably was, hey, attach you to Fantastic Four. You're not going to do it, but if you do us this solid, you can direct whatever Marvel movie you want if you do this.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know what that Marvel movie is going to be? Absolutely not.
I feel like he's going to take a break.
He is. He is going to take a break. That is guaranteed as much. I genuinely believe that he is actually going to take a break from directing. Maybe do like some small indie films.
Yeah.
Or, like he's obviously not going to stop working.
Oh, no.
But I think that he's probably going to focus on more passion projects than actual like big blockbuster superhero movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I do believe that John Watts will come back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
But I don't think it will be with Spider-Man.
Okay. So back to John Krasinski. I have a feeling if he is directing it, you're going to see an announcement because this movie's going to make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I feel like if this movie makes a ton of money, you're going to say, happy opening weekend, Doctor Strange. By the way, did you guys see that John Krasinski guy? Guess who's directing our new Fantastic Four?
Yeah, I expect they're probably...
If he is
going to be Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four movie... I expect there to probably be a announcement about that, whether he's just acting, or he's going to even take on director as well, probably within the next week or two.
I call that now. Okay, so we talked about the Illuminati members.
Yes.
Let's talk about what happens to him.
Okay, yeah. Because it's a fucking bloodbath.
Yeah.
So Wanda wrecks house.
None of them survive.
Absolutely none of them.
So to start, because who died? It was Black Bolt dies first.
Black Bolt dies first.
And the way
Mr. Fantastic dies second.
And then it was Haley. It's Captain Carter. It was Captain Carter.
Yeah, Captain Carter, then Captain Marvel,
and then Charles. So Black Bolt, God bless him.
That was a cool reveal, though.
Yeah. So the way that it happens, so Doctor Strange is on trial for being a danger to the multiverse, a threat to the multiverse. They're gonna vote, and they're about to vote because none of them voted yet.
Not yet, yeah. And then
the alarm goes off.
Wanda's broken in.
Well, not just Wanda. Scarlet Witch.
But Scarlet Witch 838.
Yes, but it's because she is doing shadow walking. Dreamwalking, thank you.
Yeah.
Because the 616 Wanda has taken over the 838 Wanda's body.
Correct.
And you just see, she comes in, oh yeah, don't forget about the Ultron Sentinel.
Oh yeah, the Ultron bots, yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Flat out I feel like that's your Tony Stark, bits in the Illuminati, because Ultron was created by Tony in the MCU. So
I think Mr. Fantastic may have made Ultron.
I think he might have debugged him. I think probably Tony created him, and then Mr. Fantastic was like, yeah, let's take out the killer instincts of you, and you can, since you are very effective at your job.
I keep thinking about it. So you have Mr. Fantastic. I would have killed to see in this 838 because all the heroes feel like they're seasoned.
Yeah.
Really, like older.
Yes.
Because, spoiler, because we're in the section, Mr. Fantastic has kids.
Yeah.
And he has them in the comic books.
Yep,
I think
does.
Twins? Son and a daughter?
Yes.
Twins. I would have killed to see the banter between Mr. Fantastic, Tony Stark, Hank Pym. Oh, man, I would have killed to see all that banter. That would have been great. But we're talking about death right now.
Yeah.
So
Jesus.
Jesus. So
it's just a turn. We talk about like 3-4 adults talking about
science
and having kids, and then death. Like, what a turn.
Yeah, no. So
Jesus.
The alarm goes off because Wanda is there, and all the Ultron bots
are failing.
And I mean, literally.
Yeah.
And she goes after America Chavez and Christine Palmer, and then all of a sudden the Illuminati show up, and Black Bolt just walks in all badass, like Captain Marvel flies in. There's no Professor
because
X.
they're the heroes.
Yeah,
they have the confidence of they are the heroes.
Yeah,
they're not going to be beaten.
Well, and then Mr. Fantastic slides in all elastically, and yes, you see him do some stretchy.
See him stretch a little
bit,
bit.
It's pretty cool, and Mr. Fantastic, because I feel like Mr. Fantastic was kind of the second in command almost.
Yeah, well, Professor X, I feel like, was the big man in command.
He was.
But Mr. Fantastic was really the almost second command.
Yeah,
or Mordo.
Yeah,
it's kind of a tie
because he
them.
went up to Wanda and says, "We understand your pain. I have children.
Yeah.
Everybody here, he didn't say that they all have children, but I'm sure one of them does.
Yeah.
And Wanda just looked at him and goes, "Is their mother still alive?" "Yes." "Then she's going to take care of them after you're dead."
And then Black Bolt tries.
Well, and he goes, "Wanda, Black Bolt will annihilate you with just one word out of his mouth." And Zach, what'd she say?
How will he be able to speak?
No,
he doesn't have a mouth to begin with.
No, she just says, "What mouth?"
Oh, you're right.
And his mouth is gone.
It pans because you just see his eyes, and then it pans, and his mouth is just gone.
Because she made it seem like it was gone,
and then he makes just one utterance.
I feel like it was like, "Oh shit!" It was like, "Oh shit!"
Then, to me, the gruesomest death in this entire movie is literally Black Bolt uttering, and then all of a sudden, his head just opens and then concaves on itself.
Yeah.
And it's like, Jesus!
And he dies
he
immediately.
just drops.
Well, I think out of the audience went, "Oh shoot!" I think was that the one I jumped, or is it something else?
I think that might have been the one you jumped. I can't remember what.
Yeah.
Oh no, I remember the one that you jumped just at. It was Wanda's first time that we saw her really dig into Scarlet Witch.
Oh, that's right.
And she came out of the gong, I think
Yep.
was where you jumped at.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So, rip Black Bolt.
Yeah, rip Black Bolt. Again, we hope you come back, buddy. But
not 838.
838's gone.
You're dead. And then it's Mr. Fantastic's turn.
And it's Mr. Fantastic.
He stretches.
He stretches, but then Wanda's like, cute. And picks him up and just basically she basically rips him into shreds.
Yeah, well, and then it goes to he screams.
Yeah.
And it was like, as he's
like, "Aw."
Well, when it happened, I'm like, well, there goes Jim from The Office.
But I was really sad because I was like, oh, I just got him, and now I don't.
Well, and the way that he died, the way he died was his head exploded too, and he just you see this puddle of his costume, and he is in the Fantastic Four costume, which looks really neat.
Yeah, which looks really neat. I hope they take that over to the.
Did you hear what Doctor Strange when he saw him? Did you just shuttle from the 60s? That's great. And
that's such a great Peyton Reed callback because that was originally Peyton Reed's pitch for a Fantastic Four movie is that it takes place in the 60s.
Yeah.
And they were going to be the genuine first family of Marvel.
And then it's Captain Carter's turn.
Yep. Okay, so here's the thing. I do love. Don't get me wrong, woman power, love it, absolutely love it, and it's great. And having Agent Carter and Captain Marvel face Scarlet Witch is great, but I feel like Marvel is now on this turn, which is interesting. Almost like men can't fight women,
right?
Almost like I don't know if it's now just a like they don't want to be politically incorrect on like a man hitting a woman, which like yes, I believe a man shouldn't hit a woman. However, if they're a superhero being and you are a superhero, you're probably gonna have to
do something,
go fisticuffs with anybody at some point. So I feel like they got rid of the guy so they navigate around that issue, but the fight that comes out of it between Captain Marvel and Captain Carter versus Wanda is fucking epic.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And like Haley Atwell does freaking amazing.
She says the line.
She has the line, and both Captain Carter and Captain Marvel have the upper hand on Wanda a couple of times. But Wanda then goes, "Yeah, this is cute. This is fun. Enough of this BS."
Captain Carter throws the shield at Wanda, and she stops it and then throws it back at.
Yeah, when she throws it, you're like, "Oh, this is a killing blow." And then,
in the look that Captain Carter had was like, "Shit!" The look. Zach just made the look, and it was almost like you saw it. It was almost like. When it happened, it was like a I failed moment, and also of I'm not supposed to die.
Yeah,
And then you see from a distance that she is sawed in half.
Yeah, that the shield literally just split her in two. They don't go into graphic. They don't really show you the two parts apart.
No, not really.
But you do see the body on the ground, and the shield very bloodied. Not very, very bloodied, but bloodied.
But that moment, that split moment where she was like, and I failed, and like, I'm not supposed to die. Yeah. That moment was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like it makes you really think like, okay, now you kind of understand death almost.
Yeah.
In that moment.
Well, and also, because again, in the comics, the Illuminati is supposed to be the be-all, end-all.
Right.
They are the ones that have been pulling the strings from the beginning, and they're supposed to be the be-all, end-all protection of the Earth.
Right.
That is it.
If the Avengers fail.
Them.
Yeah, Avengers fail, whatever.
So they are the best of the best. So the fact that they are failing even surprises them. And that's the thing, which I was really kind of happy about, because Reed Richards has an ego about him.
Oh, he did. Definitely in this movie.
And it was brought in this movie. And you actually see a bit of that ego of we're the best in every single one of them. So it was really kind of cool to see that ego there, and to have that ego be absolutely obliterated when each of them lost.
And then it comes to Captain Marvel, and she almost
had Wanda.
Yeah, but then,
which is really interesting too, because we when Captain Marvel was coming out, Kevin Feige was saying, Captain Marvel is the most powerful Avenger, and it was going through and all that. So, and then when WandaVision happened, Kevin Feige said Wanda is the most powerful being in the universe. So you have these most powerful friends, and you're wondering like who can be who. We all knew Wanda was probably gonna make it out of this fight,
right?
And the death itself was, I feel like, a bit of a cop out.
Oh, it was.
She had a statue fall on her.
But she died.
She died. It worked. But I was like, huh.
The strongest Avenger, yeah.
Interesting. That was the one that I would say I was kind of a little bit, like, out of all the ones of whether I was satisfied or not, that was probably the least satisfying, right behind Mr. Fantastic. Because, again, I just wanted to see him fight.
Yeah.
And he really didn't.
No, at all.
But yeah, we got them, and then we get the most, I feel, heartbreaking of them all, which was Sir Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier.
This one almost made me cry.
Hurt.
Yeah, because he really
again,
was.
It was Charles being Charles.
Yeah, he was trying to help Wanda.
He was trying to help Wanda 838.
Well, I loved how he started too. He came in, enough.
Yeah.
And everybody stops in their tracks.
Yeah.
And then Wanda tries to do something, but then he does his like little, oh no, you don't.
Go in your mind. Yeah.
Go into the mind. And and there you see it in the trailer where it like zooms in on her eye.
Yep.
And that was the moment, like it zooms in on his eye and then it zooms in on hers. And it was almost like when he did it, he's like, enough of this bullshit. And he does it. And it just goes into his mind, into her mind. And you see him walking and you see this rubble. And
it's the rubble of her childhood home.
From WandaVision.
Yeah.
And you see it, and because I pointed it out right away, I'm like, oh, that's her home.
Yeah.
And he sees it, and he goes, and he's being really cautious because he knows that Wanda's dangerous. Yeah. She literally just took down all his friends.
Yep.
And he sees the 838 Wanda from the rubble.
Yep.
He tries to save her. He's really close. And then you see this red smoke, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, red smoke.
And he's trying. And then all of a sudden, the 838 Wanda goes back into the hole. And then it's silence. Like, how long would you say? It was a couple seconds?
It's like a good, 2 seconds.
And then it's quiet. And somebody said, I don't know, somebody said something in the audience.
It was, yeah.
But somebody was...
It was like an oh no. Right? Like it was something, yeah.
Because we all knew, because this is almost like a horror film. This is a Sam Raimi movie. Yep. We all knew something was about to go down, and all of a sudden you see
it's quick.
Oh yeah,
it's quick.
It's a blink and you miss it.
She pops out and snaps his neck.
Yeah, and then he dies, and we're all just like, oh. Well, I think in the entire audience, like, oh,
yeah,
there goes the Illuminati.
But like, it's just.
Yeah,
it's perfectly embodied just by what Doctor Strange said. The Illuminati.
Yeah, the Illuminati.
They were here and they were gone.
But I left that theater wanting more of the Illuminati.
Yeah.
But now that I think about it, I got the right amount of the Illuminati. There was just the fan of me wanted more, and I just didn't want to see any of them die.
That's true, but also I feel like with just how the Marvel Cinematic Universe just is kind of going, I feel like there really isn't a place for a 616 Illuminati.
No.
So the fact that we got them is great and amazing. But I don't think they really have a place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so I'm not surprised that they are a one-and-done thing, which is what I expected going into this movie, but I didn't expect it to be as final of an ending as it was.
Especially how quick, too, because they were on screen for a total of like maybe 5-ish minutes, because it keeps going from scene to scene with Wong and Wanda going to like the Himalayas or something like that. But you see the Illuminati a total of maybe 5 minutes.
It's very short. But
sweet.
But and like you said, I think it's the fan in me wants more. But the more realistic side of me is like, no, that was enough.
All right, so, well, we got that out of the way.
Yep, we'll talk about one other cameo that we got.
Bruce Campbell!
Another definite in life. If you have Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell is also going to be in that movie.
He was so funny.
Yeah, it's a Campbell one, but it's.
Are you going to pay for that?
It's actually really cool because it actually almost harkens back to his Evil but Dead roots because his left hand gets cursed.
Oh, right, yeah.
And just like how it was in Evil Dead, his hand gets cursed and it keeps on trying to attack him. Mm-hmm. Luckily, this hand doesn't get severed and doesn't turn into a chainsaw.
A saw, yeah.
Which is kind of sad. But
and he doesn't say groovy.
And he doesn't say groovy, which is... But but that's the other thing, too, that I also want to bring in, too. The amount of Evil Dead references
there was
in
a lot.
This movie is... palpable.
I know.
Because the evil force is alluded to like quite a bit from that like zooming camera shots, the peeking over, the enchanting of the hand. Like It's Sam Raimi's like, yeah, I'm the Evil Dead director. I'll give you a bit of Evil Dead.
Well, you know how in the Evil Dead, you know how sometimes, like in the camera, you see the side of their face and they're screaming?
Yeah.
There's a lot of the cameras in your face and they're screaming.
Yeah.
That was palpable in the Evil Dead films, and it's palpable here,
Yeah.
too. Not a bunch, but when they're screaming, the camera is directly on their face. So, yeah, but Bruce Campbell, come on. He groovy.
Yeah, groovy.
Groovy.
And also, there's just something great about having him be like the final thing, because he is the post-credit scene. The final post-credit scene of the movie.
And when he said
and it's just like, it's done. It's over.
And then it was great. Well, we were all thinking during the second post-credit scene, like, you thought it was you wanted Namor, or you wanted...
Well, I did want Namor for the Illuminati.
That's right, but you wanted somebody for the second one.
No, I was saying for what I wanted in a Bruce Campbell multiverse cameo, because Sam Raimi is a cheeky bastard.
He is, isn't he?
My perfect, like, Bruce Campbell cameo is because it's the multiverse of madness. I wanted Bruce Campbell not just to have one cameo, but multiple cameos.
Yeah.
I wanted him to have a cameo in each universe. Like, just have him go by, even if it was like them floating by, like, oh, there goes Bruce Campbell.
Well, like when they were going through that multiverse and the paint scene.
Yeah, and the paint scene, which was interesting.
I would have paid good money to see a paint scheme of Bruce Campbell in that. Well, and then that animated part of it too.
That was cool.
That was cool.
That was really cool.
They reminded me a little bit of the old 90s animated show, a little bit. So, but yeah, so we got Bruce Campbell. We just talked about the multiverse little dance thing that they did. So it's time we talked about the ending of the movie.
Yeah, how the ending all happens. And we barely talked about Rachel McAdams, but yeah, this is where her bigger part comes in, is that, like, she actually, like,
does stuff,
is in the multiverse in 838. But besides that, so basically, to sum up the end to the very end, Doctor Strange and Christine get trapped in this what is the word again? Incursion.
No.
Incursion
universe.
They get stuck in an incursion, and the only living soul that seems to be left is that version of Doctor Strange. It's not the Doctor Strange that we thought it was going to be.
Because everybody thought it was going to be Strange Supreme.
Correct.
But it's
not.
And he makes it known, because Strange Supreme, his Palmer dies.
Correct.
But this one, the one that Dr. Stephen Strange from 616 meets, his got married to somebody else.
Correct. And then this specific Doctor Strange that we meet, this new one, this dark Doctor Strange, as we'll call him, he has the dark hold. He has the dark hold, but his Christine, it's not that they die, it's that it falls out, and he's just never happy. He's a sad Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. Boo-hoo.
The dark, sad Doctor. We'll call him Sad Doctor Strange.
Sad Doctor Strange. But he...
Like sad Ben Affleck.
We should also talk about this. I never thought I would ever see a fight scene with literal music notes before.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, did it work?
Sam Raimi and Danny Elfman.
God. I feel like Sam Raimi was like, hey,
let's try it.
Danny, like, you get to do some bit of storytelling. If you were to fight literally with music, what would you do? And they bring some Beethoven into it. And it's mwah. I love it.
I would have killed to see like some Fantasia stuff too.
Well, we got a little bit of like Disney stuff on, like whenever there was a TV playing in the background,
you had
something of Disney playing.
Oswald the Rabbit.
We had Snow White. We had a couple others I can't remember, but it was all IP friendly, all Disney owned. So don't worry.
But I like at the end of the movie, I'm like, it's Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. I love that. Great, fantastic. Because I
want to even now now on my second viewing, I'm gonna want to watch for any TVs in the background and see if it's trying to tell a story through like any of the TVs.
Well, I think
like, when we saw Snow White at the end, that was the end of the movie,
right?
And that was the end of Snow White's movie that was being shown.
I think
so. I wonder if they're telling also a story through all their different TVs.
Well, Snow White came out in 1937. This is 2022, so it's a something 5 anniversary. So you're talking, oh shoot, you're talking about an 85-year anniversary.
Well, I'm not. Well, true. But even then, I'm wondering if there's a story being told.
Yeah, in
through
that
the different TVs.
Mm-hmm.
But
happy anniversary, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Happy anniversary, Snow White. You're the company you're the thing that literally started it all.
Not Mickey Mouse.
Not even Mickey Mouse. Like, you are the thing that is the success to.
And that may have been a call. That may have been a callback. Like, we wouldn't have had this Marvel Cinematic Universe if it wasn't for Snow White.
True.
God bless you.
True.
God bless you, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And you're getting a remake.
Well, imagine all of the just all the patriarchal people going like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the best universe, just to throw it back at their faces and say, well, we wouldn't have had the MCU if it wasn't for Snow White.
All right. Okay. So ending time.
Okay. Ending time. So they fight. So they have a music fight, and Sad Strange gets impaled.
Yeah, pretty bad. Well, I think you were even like, oh.
And then so Sad Strange has 3 eyes.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets impaled, the top third eye opens. So
it was creepy.
Is he dead? Who knows? But
it was creepy.
So then 616 Strange decides, okay, I can't get to 616, but there is a version of me that is there.
And it's the dead Defender Strange.
Dead Defender Strange.
Who was buried.
So we get 616 Strange as Defender Strange. Zombies. So great. Phenomenal. That was fun.
We don't see the zombie
done by Benedict Cumberbatch as Zombie Strange is grade A.
Yeah, it was great. He was like, and you hear bones breaking.
And when he talks to America Chavez,
it was
some of the
really
acting
quiet,
was
really quiet,
but the physicality of like him like trying to talk with a not a decapitated deteriorating mouth was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Well, then he meets up. He finds Wanda. And when Wong saw him, Strange, he's like, yay! I don't even want to know. It was great.
But so America, her
powers are about to be taken from Wanda. Because she was captured.
Strange kind of
does things.
Negates that. But then America's but then Wanda is able to beat Strange and is about to take care of America, but America's like, fine, you know what? You want your kids? Let's see your kids. And then zoop, they go, and the kids are absolutely terrified.
Well, and before that, Doctor Strange and Wong capture, I don't want to say capture, but they enclose her in this little force field.
Correct, but she breaks out.
And she breaks out. Well, while she's doing that, Doctor Strange goes to America and says, you can do this. You can control your power. Because throughout the entire movie, America can't control it. And
can't control it, air quotes.
Well, and Doctor Strange says, you can do this. You can do this. I believe in you. You can do this.
You can control it because every single time we needed to go somewhere,
you did it.
You did it. And we went to the place that we needed to be.
Yes.
So yes, you can control it. Just trust yourself.
And that's where, because originally, Wong wanted Doctor Strange for her
to take the powers
to kill her.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, you can do it. You can do it. And then finally, Doctor Strange says, no, you can do this. Do it. Just do it.
And then, okay.
That's when it goes.
So yeah. So then fast forward, Wanda sees the kids. The kids are afraid of her. Wanda 838 is like, don't worry. I'm going to take care of them. Stop being terrible.
Don't be mean.
Stop being mean. and Wanda goes, sad, but okay. And then she realized, okay, the Darkhold has actually corrupted me. I need to obliterate the Darkhold completely. Across all universes. Not just ours, across all universes. And she collapses the building that they're in, which is actually like the original text of the Darkhold. according to the 616. And she eliminates them all, but she collapses the building on them. It makes it look like, oh, that's the end of Wanda. It's not the end of Wanda.
We don't see the body.
We don't see the body. She's alive. Believe me, she's not done.
I think Elizabeth Olsen is signed for other projects.
She probably is, but Marvel makes it seem like she died.
Nobody.
She alive.
But then we go to
now. Okay, yay! The good guys won.
America's being trained by Wong.
America is now going to learn how to be a sorcerer, which is great and wonderful. And I can't wait. I really cannot wait to see more of her character.
I want to see her and Ned Leeds be.
That would be. I want to see them be classmates.
Yes, please. But yeah, so to end the movie, Doctor Strange is walking down the street.
And then he gets a headache.
Yeah, and then
a third eye pops out.
And then we go to credits.
But so how I've been watching some YouTube videos on whatnot and what's going on with that. Evidently how other people have been explaining it. I want more of a definitive, this is how this happened. When Doctor Strange opened himself up to the Darkhold, he opened himself up to dark entities.
Yes.
Because how it's been explained to me by the many YouTube videos that I've been watching, because the little eye opened up on Sad Strange, he became a dark entity and then took over Doctor Strange. 616.
But he also had Darkhold, but Darkhold's gone.
Correct. But so I don't know if now we have a dream-walked 616 Doctor Strange, or if this sad Doctor Strange is now living inside of 616 Strange. I don't know what's going on. But
we'll see it later.
Something's going on. But anyway, so credits roll, and then we get our mid-credits scene.
He's walking down the street again. With a scarf.
Standy. No scarf. Oh, yeah, he has a scarf, but no third eye just yet.
Yeah.
So evidently the third eye is being hidden. Maybe he's doing Jekyll and Hyde kind of situation.
Probably.
I don't know.
And then all of a sudden,
the dark dimension shows up and Charlize Theron pops out.
Yeah, she's playing Clea.
See, here's the thing.
We're almost done, everybody, but yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm not the biggest Charlize Theron fan. I think she's okay. I think her acting is so-so. So this is probably my first casting of Marvels where I was like, huh.
That's a cash grab.
That's who you got. Okay. But we don't even hear her name. All we do is she's like, Doctor Strange, you made an incursion. Want to fix it? Then he takes off his scarf. He's now in his Doctor Strange costume.
The third
eye opens up, and he goes, "Yep."
And then you see the realm that she opens.
It's the dark dimension.
Yeah, with Dormammu.
Yeah.
So, and
he goes, "Yep," and they jump in, and that's
no questions asked.
I was like,
"Huh, cool."
It's probably my most disappointing MCU.
It was. Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, walking out of that theater, I was like,
"Who was that?"
But after I go to the YouTube videos, they were like, "It's Clea." I was like, "That was Clea." And you got Charlize Theron to do it.
So basically, who Clea is, she becomes. She becomes his wife. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
She's Doctor Strange's wife, but she is the Sorcerer Supreme of the Dark Dimension.
Yes,
which makes sense. I just wasn't entirely sure that was her, because even though you come out of the Dark Dimension, does not mean you're the Sorcerer Supreme of the Dark Dimension. It's just like I was like, who are you?
Yeah.
They don't say it's Clea. They don't say anything. They just go, "Hey, you made an incursion. Want to help?" And I was like, and he was like, "Yep." And they go. It was
Charlize Theron.
And it was a Charlize Theron. So it was a very disappointing MCU credit scene, and it really it's the most
random
one, and it's by far, to me personally, one of the smallest jumping off points Marvel has ever done with their MCU mid-credit scene.
Yes.
Because always the end credit scenes, you can have you feel like you know where they're heading in the direction.
Right.
This one, you have no idea.
No.
Absolutely no idea.
Yeah, we don't have a clue.
We have no idea where the MCU is going after this. Like, I have no idea. I thought maybe we might have, like, a clue as to what's going to happen in Wakanda Forever, or maybe Miss Marvel.
Or Thor.
Or something. This gives no indication of where we're going.
Nope, not at all.
So, this is really new and strange for me for Marvel.
Doctor Strange?
And don't get me wrong. Like, okay.
Cool.
Charlize Theron is in the MCU. Not my favorite choice, but I can learn to deal with that.
She's there.
She is there. She is going to exist. And I'm not saying that Charlize Theron is a bad actress. Absolutely not. She has really grade A quality of work. One that people actually disagree with me on. I actually really loved her in Will Smith's Hancock.
I liked her in Hancock.
I loved her in Hancock. So maybe now that she's in another superhero movie, maybe I'll like her interpretation of Clea.
Right.
Who knows?
But we'll see.
But I just feel like this mid-credit scene was a misstep.
Yeah. Well, you know what wasn't a misstep? This review, man. We did it.
We got through it, and
we were so excited to tell you this.
We were very excited to do it, if you haven't noticed.
Yes.
This is probably one of our longest ones that we've probably ever done, but
we were excited. We wanted to tell it.
There was a lot to talk about, and again, some people will like it, some people won't, but majority of you will.
And the reason why I said it was going to divide fans, you're going to have a lot of people say, well, Doctor Strange was right with Wanda, and a lot of people are going to say, no, Wanda was right. So a lot of people are going to think, like, who really is the bad guy? Is it Wanda or is it Doctor Strange at the beginning? You're going to have a lot of people that are going to be like, who really is the bad guy? Who really is the bad guy here? You're going to have a lot of people thinking that.
Sure, yeah. I guess I'll put my 2 cents on that question.
Please do.
I feel like while Wanda deserves a happy ending, how she went about it was wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
She was going to take another Wanda's kids. Mm-hmm. Nah, fam. Don't. Fam.
Look, fam.
Like
Daniel Proctor, if you listen, that's for you, man.
No, hey, yo. And I love you, fam. If you are listening to our podcast, I love you, fam. But
love you, fam.
But like, nah, like that's like if I have kids and a multiversal self comes to my house and it's like, I lost my kids, I'm taking your kids, I'd be like, I could kill you and no one will genuinely ever know.
Yeah.
Absolutely no one.
Right.
Get the front door out of here and back to your universe before I slit your throat, because you ain't taking my kids. Mm-hmm. So absolutely not. Doctor Strange was technically in the right.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
sorry.
I will agree.
Do I understand where Wanda's coming from?
I do too.
Yes.
Yeah, I do too.
Absolutely. And she deserves a happy ending. Mm-hmm. This ain't the way of going about it. And I really can't wait to see Wanda get a happy ending. This was not her time just yet.
All right. Well, Zach, we got through it. High five.
We did it. All right, my friends. Until that next time.
Oh, before we end, don't forget, we have more stuff coming out. If you want more stuff, please let us know. Go ahead and shoot us an email.
Oh, yeah, please email us. Our email is in the description below. Mm-hmm. So please copy and paste or send it to us. Reach out to us.
If you see us, please say hello.
Yeah, absolutely. Say hello. Say what you love about the channel, what you think we can improve on. We'd love to hear from you. We also, I will go ahead and announce something. We are going to start to be open to collaborations. However, we have decided between me and Mitch that we are waiting until October to start genuinely recording collaborations.
Yes.
However, if you would like to collaborate with us, also shoot us an email so that we can get that started, so that when October comes around, we will have that all set up and we can start with those collaborations and start getting on and start working with a lot of different people. So
Yes.
collaborations are on their way. So keep on letting us know, and we will go ahead and get you guys all set up so that we can start collaborating with you in October.
Yes, but until that time,
I'm Zach,
I'm Mitch.
and we are
An excellent little podcast.